Hi everybody, it's August 11th, 2025. Um, from a person that's been in tight spots in several areas of his life, I know what it feels like to be cornered and maybe self-suppressed and maybe self-oppressed to the point where you want to give up, but you can't because there's not room left enough to give up. So you fight half-heartedly and you make no progress. You just survive and eat the muck, I guess you would say. So as I grew older and made my way forward and out of these certain holes, I found that there's a method to becoming unoppressible, even if it's by yourself or by others or by spiritual formation around you. To be unoppressible, the strategy is to be unoppressible by agreement. So I found that when I felt big enough, when I felt strong enough to accept criticism without letting it stunt me or take any part of me away, I came across the conclusion that if you agree with your oppressor's opinion about you, but you do not let that impede you and you do not let that derail you, it takes away all the power from the oppressor to control your mind and to control your heart and to influence your spirit. For example, if your oppressor says that you are poor and undesirable and that the whole society and the whole world hates you and your people, and you accept that and say, okay, I can see where you're coming from. I agree with you. I agree with your viewpoint. I can see how you would come to that conclusion. You totally demystify the image of their power in your mind. If you could find the strength to agree with them and to continue living on with no shame, with no hindrance to your current trajectory in your life, the power of the oppressive form or the oppressive figment in your daily life, it quiets down. And you see that even though you agreed with them, you see that agreeing with them totally negates their whole argument. And you go on and you say, oh, maybe I'm not this undesirable person, maybe I'm not this unwise or unintelligent person. I am capable. I'm capable of accepting their criticism, their oppressive jargon, and I continue to live and I continue to thrive, and I do not let anything stop me. And so you will see that sometimes the oppressive force in your life will cascade down upon you more and more criticism, more and more keen judgment to try to derail you and turn you against yourself. Because that is one of the that is one of the strategies of darkness, is to not get them to control you, but to control you by getting you to turn in on yourself and to dismantle your whole plan from the inside out. That's the sick nature of darkness. And so once they cascade that down, that oppressive jargon, that oppressive litany down onto you, if you agree with every point that they say, their room for maneuvering shrinks and shrinks and shrinks until they cannot control you and turn you against yourself anymore, because there's no more room for destructive philosophy. There's no more room for creating stories about you, trying to get you to believe in these stories about yourself that will cause you to cave in on yourself. The more you agree with them, the less mileage their lies have on you. And the oppressive forces aren't always from the outside. Sometimes there's a sickness inside of us that is self-destructive, and it becomes an oppressive force inside of you, whether it was placed there or not. So the same strategy applies to homegrown or self-grown oppressiveness. And so, just like anything else in life, just like learning anything else in life, you have to repeat the same process over and over. Sometimes you will fall victim to a lie that is tailored just to get you to fall for it. They'll distract you to look in this direction, slide something in, and then you look back and you be like, that wasn't there before, but since it's there now and I didn't notice it, it must come from me. So it must be true. So you have to keep on revisiting this strategy of agreeing with oppressive lies until you become good at just eschewing them without any effort anymore. And you can focus on other issues and challenges in your life. So oppression is a real situation in the world today, in our lives. And yes, things take money, things take strength, things take power to overcome. But if you do not have the resources to fight oppression or spiritual sickness with money, or fight it with a loud voice, there's always the wisdom that you find in agreeing with an enemy. If you could see how that dismantles them and dismantles their plan, it'll encourage you and enliven you to keep on carrying on. So I hope this helps. Thanks.